There is more momentum in the U.S. right now for reforms on race relations and policing than at any other point in recent American history. But that momentum may not be enough, believe it or not, to spark real action in Washington. Andrew joins us with more on that.
And Rich, as you know, there have been two competing bills about police reform under debate in Congress. Today, the Senate's bill was blocked from advancing. Republicans could not get the 60 votes they needed to proceed. That GOP bill was authored by South Carolina's Tim Scott, the lone black Republican in the Senate. It was far more limited in scope than the Democratic bill and did not end the qualified immunity that police officers currently enjoy. The Democratic version of that bill, which does end that immunity and does far more, will be debated in the House tomorrow. That bill is expected to pass the House, but will likely run into a roadblock once it heads to the Senate. Best guess, that bill won't pass either, and Congress may not be able to approve any reforms until after the election. But did Democrats miscalculate on police reform? Is something, even a bill that's watered down by comparison, better than passing nothing while we're in this current moment? It's one of the questions I posed to Virginia Congressman Bobby Scott when we talked yesterday. What's your approach going to be in this moment, and what do you think our approach should be? Is it any reform is better than nothing and we should be able to take what we get? Or given that this moment is here, should we go for the brass ring and go for wholesale changes?
I think we should have the best bill that we can get. We have legislation, and I think the House bill is very thoughtful legislation. The idea that you have national standards in policing shouldn't offend anyone. The idea that you want to end chokeholds, end no-knock warrants, end racial profiling, who's going to stand up in favor of chokeholds? So most of the stuff in there is just common sense, just put all in one document where we can have more confidence in police. It also has ways of holding police officers accountable to a large extent. And you saw it on the face of the officer in Minneapolis. He knew he was being videoed, and it didn't occur to him that holding your knee on someone's neck until they die, someone who's not posing a threat, it never seemed to occur to him that that was a mistake. You had 3 officers standing by for 8 minutes, 46 seconds while it happened. I think that people have to know they're accountable for outrageous acts.
Your arguments for a more comprehensive bill are right on. There's certainly a lot to that argument. But if the current Republican Senate bill or something close to it is as far as Republicans and the White House are willing to go, would you be willing to support that bill on the thought that something is better than nothing in this moment?
First of all, I think the House bill is going to pass. There are enough co-sponsors on the bill to predict passage. In the Senate, they'll have the debate, and we'll just see who stands up for the various proposals. I don't see anything in the Democratic bill that really ought to offend anyone. It was things that are already in place, things that have been studied. The qualified immunity provision doesn't do anything but put the law back to where it was for over 100 years. Things seem to work out pretty well for 100 years, and it became not qualified immunity but absolute immunity, and we just put it back to where it used to be just a couple of decades ago. So I mean, there are a lot of, and that seems to be a sticking point over there, but that's not radical. Having the law the way it used to be for over 100 years. And so there are a lot of things in there. Who's in favor of militarizing the police? What does a rural police force need with a tank or a bazooka? I mean, these are things that are available today, and when you're weaponizing the police forces. So we'll just see how the debate goes. The fact that they felt compelled to come up with a bill tells you one thing, that they recognize that something needs to be done. If they pass a bill, House passes a bill, we'll go into conference and see what happens.
Congressman Bobby Scott is a Democrat serving the state of Virginia. He serves on the Education Committee. Congressman, really appreciate a few minutes. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, Rich, back to you.
Thank you, Andrew. All right, everyone, when we come back, we'll wrap things up.